y'all. Welcome back to Moments with Miss Amy. I am so glad you joined me. So, today I wanted to talk to you a little bit. I know I mentioned in my first video and then also in my About page, talking a little bit about some of my health secrets and things. And so, today what I wanted to talk to you about is dealing with pain and dealing with chronic pain. I have severe plaque psoriasis, and I'm sure throughout the videos you guys have seen it. Some days it doesn't look as bad as others. But besides that, I also deal with scoliosis, which you notice the brace, where I'm working on that one. And I also deal with chronic pain. So those of you that are out there that deal with any or all of those things, first of all, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. Second of all, I really feel bad for your families and friends that are around that have a hard time because they want to help you, but they don't know how. And also because it's hard. It feels like anything and everything is always a day of pain. And I know for myself that that's the case. I also know that for myself that sometimes I actually cause that pain. I actually bring it on myself. And I know that today, the pain that I am in, which is the reason why I decided to talk to you about it, is my pain's higher today. And unfortunately, that doesn't mean that because my pain is higher that I'm going to just lay around and watch Netflix all day and, maybe hit the hot tub, whatever. No, I have a full schedule. And I don't have the option, shall we say, to just throw it off because I don't feel great today. It doesn't happen like that. And for most of you who are out there that are suffering from, any of those things that I said or other situations, other illnesses, whatever, that are causing you pain, you probably can relate to that. Just because we have pain doesn't mean that we can stop. Now, I know sometimes things happen and you have to stop. Sometimes things happen and the pain is so high that you are unable to continue. But when you're living with a chronic pain that's staying usually at a lower level with some spikes in between, things like that, you can't just stop because otherwise you would be stopped every day. And that's just not something that we're able to do. For myself, I choose to handle my pain with more natural types of things. I go to the chiropractor on a regular basis. I went to the scoliosis clinic back in December and did some intense boot camp there. I wear this brace. I make choices to drink water instead of drinking soda, and different eating things that I do. I also take some vitamins and supplements. And of course, I have my stretches that need to get done every day. So where I talked about yesterday and how I brought on my higher pain today, well, a couple of different choices that I made. So my first one was I didn't do my stretches yesterday. I might have done a couple little things in the morning. It's become such a habit to always do something. But that was it. I didn't finish and do the other things that I needed to do. Now, it doesn't mean that I can't miss once in a while. That's okay. But when I have a lot going on and I cut short some of my stretches and exercises, and then I make some poor food choices, I am setting myself up for pain. And I did that. Yesterday, it sounded so good to have Chinese, so I did. And I ate a bunch of it. My husband and I have this Chinese place that is out near where we used to live, and so we happened to be going by it as we came back from visiting my mom, and it's like, oh, that just sounded so good. So I had the Chinese, didn't do the exercises yesterday, and I would say probably my water intake was down just a little bit, so didn't even make it all the way through the night. Woke up during the night and just having like neck spasm and pain in my shoulder and had to get out. I have this handy dandy little Amish pain relief that's got a number of different like herbs and things in there, and it definitely helps. So I put that on, went back to bed in my brace, and then the time came for me to wake up enough to change from my brace to my heating pad. It's kind of become my normal routine. Wear the brace throughout the majority of the night and then on the heating pad for about an hour to try to help my muscles to loosen up and me to be able to move around a little bit better when I get up and around. Didn't even make it out of bed. started doing the stretches right in there just to try to help so that I could move today. So today's pain, I don't know, it's not a super bad, it's definitely higher. I like to try to keep myself within maybe the twos, on a 1 to 10 kind of thing. Obviously, I would love to live without any pain. That would be really cool. But getting myself where I can be able to function and not wince at every movement, be able to press on and just feel good is always a goal. With that being said, I have learned that at times I can push through my pain by just having some positive things that I insert into my life. If I get myself maybe playing some Christian worship music or some really upbeat music that I enjoy, it helps me to move around a little bit more. And of course, the more that you move, the more that you loosen up those muscles, the better you feel. Obviously, increasing and drinking my water is a great help. And one of the things I like to do with that is I like to heat up a cup of water, put in a little bit of ginger juice, a small spoon of honey, and some lemon that I squeeze in. Stir it up. That's it. No tea, no other additives, nothing of that nature. I just drink it as a hot ginger honey lemon juice. And it's helping me to get in more water. But the other thing is, ginger is also known to be a natural anti-inflammatory. So I know that it's, in essence, helping my inflammation to go down, which of course is going to also lower my pain. So that's a definite help. But on a day-to-day basis, dealing with pain affects us in so many ways. Like I mentioned earlier about the families and friends, they have a hard time seeing us in pain, especially since there's nothing that they can do to make that pain go away. I would imagine being on that flip side as well, that sometimes it's got to be kind of hard to know that we say we're in pain every single day. And if they're not, being able to relate to that has got to be awfully hard. And I know that my husband and I were super excited about me doing the scoliosis boot camp to see what we could do about helping me to have less pain. And when I went to the scoliosis boot camp, I was believing that I would definitely have an improvement. I was believing that I would have less pain, I would be healthier and be able to move better. Well, it definitely worked. Some of the extreme pain that I was dealing with in certain areas in my body because of the curvature of the spine, actually some of that pressure is already gone. And this was back from December when I went through this camp. Truthfully, part of that changed that same week. I was so blessed. But that being said, there has definitely been improvement. But what's been challenging for my husband especially is he had really thought that all of my pain would be going away. And that's been a little bit hard because I'm not at that point. It would be amazing if I get there. It really would. But right now, I still deal with pain, chronic pain, on a regular basis. Plus, some of the other pain that I'm dealing with, the psoriasis pain, the joint pain, and of course the pain from the scoliosis. So those things cause it to be kind of challenging at times. I know that looking from the outside, seeing someone who's dealing with pain, you look at me right now and I'm smiling. I'm not in pain. Like, really? But I've learned how to smile through the pain. I have learned how, unless it's a really sharp, hitting me at the moment pain, to not let others see that. And there's a few reasons why. First of all, if I'm always in pain and letting it show, I don't even want to be around myself, okay? It's kind of like, you're not going to draw flies with vinegar, okay? But you certainly will with honey. So I don't like to let others see all of my pain. There are some things that I can't help it with. When I go to get up after sitting for a while, I get up like I'm in my 80s or 90s, okay? And it's not uncommon to see that. Sometimes when I go to walk, it takes me a bit to be able to take those steps and to be able to walk. Some of those things I'm believing are, as the scoliosis improves, going to leave and I'll be moving around like a spring chicken. But for right now, it's a part of my life and part of what I deal with. But I also know that because I deal with those things, it does impact people around me. So that's one of the things that I wanted to talk to You that are dealing with it yourselves physically with chronic pain, scoliosis, psoriasis, whatever things are your infliction, whatever things that you're dealing with and having pain, remember to think about the fact that those who don't feel it don't know and they don't understand. We don't want to pour onto them all of the negativity, all of the time of the pain that we're in, because there's a couple of things. First of all, law of attraction, you get what you're speaking out. So if I'm continually talking about how much pain that I'm in, if I'm continually moaning and groaning about it, I feel crappier. I really do. So I choose not to. I choose to kind of leave it lay. It will come out, and those closest to me hear it the most. And for that, I am so sorry. So those of you that are close to people who deal with chronic pain and other types of pain, I am really sorry that you're hearing it and that you have to and that you see it and that there's nothing you can do. There's nothing more heartbreaking than seeing someone hurting and not be able to help them. I get that. But also realize that just because you can't see the pain doesn't mean that it isn't there. And that's another thing that's really hard. I know that sometimes over the years, I've had to make choices to, be in a wheelchair. I look perfectly fine on the outside. Why on earth would I need to be in a wheelchair? Because unfortunately on the inside, I'm not perfectly fine. I'm not. So sometimes those choices have had to be made. But I think that big thing with that there is just reminding ourselves, nobody really knows what someone else is going through. Even if you can see, like people will see my psoriasis, okay? It's obvious. I have it. But they don't understand it. They don't know what it is that I'm dealing with. Some people are afraid they're going to catch it from me. That can't happen. But other people, may realize that it itches, but they may not realize that sometimes it's painful. Sometimes people look at it and think, well, if she just puts on lotion, she'll be fine. Y'all, if you knew the thousands of dollars I have spent on lotion, and I do put it on, trust me. I'm really thrilled right now with the product that I'm using because I definitely do see that it's helping with the flaking, but it doesn't make it go away. I've had many people suggest to me for all of my different pains, various different kinds of medications, and why aren't I doing this? Why aren't I taking that? I personally don't find most medication being helpful for me. My body reacts to things differently. In fact, I just recently learned that a protein powder mix that I was using appears to not be working well with my psoriasis either. Stopped using it, and there's actually been a change and an improvement in the psoriasis. It is a hit and miss, trial and error to find out what works for me and what works for my body. And so sometimes I come to God on it, and I'm just like, Lord, what's going on? Why? Why do I have to deal with this? Why isn't it getting better? And I have people who pray for me all the time. And they too wonder what's happening with it. But I just have to remember that just because this is what I'm dealing with doesn't mean that he's left me. Of course, you guys know me. Got a couple scriptures that I'm going to share. And naturally, we know about me and paper, right? So the first one is Psalms 119:50. This is my comfort in my affliction, that your promise gives me life. The second one, and this one's a little bit longer, this is back from where Paul in the Bible was battling affliction himself. And even Paul pleaded with the Lord that it should leave him. But this was the response, and this is 2 Corinthians 12:9. And it is, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. So I'm not running around and bragging, oh, hey, look at me, look at the pain that I'm in. I don't think that's going to help my pain at all. But I can boast in the fact that even when I'm in pain and the pain is higher, like today, I can keep moving. I can keep going ahead because I know in my weakness, that's when God is stronger in my life. And where I can use His power, I can cling to His power to keep myself going. So I don't know what it is that you're battling out there. Maybe you're the one that's dealing with the pain. And maybe today those numbers are higher. And I'm sorry. I know it's awful. I know that. Maybe you're blessed. Maybe today your numbers are lower. The one thing I can suggest for you is to pay attention to what's going on around you. Are there things that you are doing, sometimes not even intentionally, that are raising your numbers and making your pain higher? Are there things that you are doing, again, maybe not even intentionally, that are helping your pain to lower? And just remember, as you're pushing through and going through that pain, you are not alone. There are a lot of other people out there that are dealing with that. And not only that, you are not alone. God loves you and He is with you and will help you each day to fight through and push through your pain. Having pain does not mean that your life stops, nor should it mean that your life should not be able to be as incredible of a testimony as you choose for it to be. Make the decision that no matter what, you will press on, you will discover your purpose, and you will live your purpose. Because I'm going to tell you, if we're going to be in pain anyway, we might as well be in pain, having fun, and doing the things that we want to do to change this world. So y'all, I hope me opening up a little bit about what I deal with has been some kind of a comfort and a help to you. I hope that family members and friends that are exposed to people that are dealing with pains like these, that maybe this gave you a little bit of insight and understanding. I am definitely open to questions, and I would love to hear your comments as to how you deal with this. And so if you got any value from this today, please click like and, of course, subscribe. Don't forget, hit that little bell so you get the notification when a new video drops. And I want to thank you again for joining me today on Moments with Miss Amy.